Happy Thursday, Coldwell Banker. Super happy to be here with you today to discuss with you another tool that we make available to you as Coldwell Banker and the Big Blue here on the Front Range of Colorado. I hope you're enjoying the cold weather. It's rather a surprise to all of us and kind of a cold snap we're experiencing today. It's even chilly in this room. But we are happy to talk to you about what happens when your business starts to warm up and how busy you get when you've got 3, 4, 5 under contracts going all at one time. We all know what it's like to have to chase down those dates and to have to put up the signs and go put on the lockbox and all of that clerical work that we have to do. And when we're doing those things, do you know what we're not doing? Do you know what we're really missing out on? Are any of those activities that I just mentioned, among many others that you do every day, are any of them money makers for you? Well, I would posit this opinion. I don't think that those are money-making activities for you to be doing. And we have a solution for you out there that is available to you at very reasonable cost because the company here in Colorado has been quite generous in subsidizing this program for you. But we're going to talk today about CB2Go. CB2Go. Did I do that right? This Anyway, CB2Go, have you heard of it? Do you know about it? Have you used it? Do you love it? If you don't, let me just give you some background on this, because I talk to a lot of new agents as one of the new agent trainers at the DTC office. I frequently run into new agents who've done no business, and within their first 3, 4, 5 months, all of a sudden they've got 3 deals going at once. And I think anybody who's been in the business a while, if you're a seasoned agent, you remember what it was like that first time in your business when you had multiple deals going all at once. There's an awful lot of paperwork to keep on top of. There's an awful lot of dates you have to count on. And make sure that you're holding yourself accountable to those. And despite the fact that we really try to develop good habits around that, and the fact that we try to really make a schedule that's reliable and works so that we don't fall behind on any of those dates, we really have a hard time doing that. And you know what? When people are thinking about moving their business to the first level, or people who are at the first level are thinking about moving it to the next, and the next, and the next, what they've got to concentrate on is how not to waste their time doing things that don't contribute to their bottom line. And that's where CB2Go steps right into the equation. So let's talk about what's available with this program. We're super happy about how it works and what it can do to drive your business onto that next plateau. Let's take a look at a few of our slides that we have here, just so that we can begin to get familiar with how this whole CB2Go thing works for you. So we're going to talk about growing your business. We're going to talk about staying organized. We're going to talk a little bit about what does it take to do the stuff you'd rather be doing and the things that make you dollars rather than messing around with all this clerical stuff. And CB2Go is offered in a couple of different varieties, and it's something that you don't pay for until you have those deals. And it's also something that gives you the flexibility of not having a full-time assistant working for you. But these are assistants when you need them, and that's a powerful, powerful tool for your business and something you may want to consider in the weeks and months coming up. As we begin to do our 2017 business planning, this is going to be a critical part of what really works to make us go the next place. When you're feeling bogged down, you got too many deals, isn't that an awful position to be in? I know a lot of my new agents are out there going, God, if only I had multiple deals to worry about. Well, you know what? You're gonna, sooner than later. And it is well to be educated on how you can make your life easier around this. It's easy to get bogged down with all of that paper. So, how does this work? We have transaction coordinators, professionals who have been in this business for a long time, who we have brought in as our partners. And they're available to you at flat fees. So we offer both a listing assistant program, because we know there's a lot that goes on when you take a new listing. There's a lot of moving parts and bits and pieces that you've got to get together. And sometimes it's just not convenient for you to be, many of us work in an area and our listing is in a completely different area. This is a program that will work for you and make your life a lot easier as a listing agent. And everybody knows we want to be a listing agent. He who controls the inventory controls the marketplace. But also, this is a terrific opportunity for those closings that are upcoming. So the minute you go under contract with a buyer, there's an awful lot to keep straight in your mind when you've got multiple deals going around that as well. And CB2Go is the answer to making those problems into not problems, to put it incorrectly. Okay, So do you need help juggling your inventory of listings and the details that can slow you down? I'm going to refer to the same slide I'm showing you, but let's look at what we can do for you in terms of our $175 package as your listing assistant. Would you like somebody else to install the lockbox? How about completing the new listing and MLS input sheet? I'll tell you what, I was a listing agent for many years of my life, and I hated nothing more than filling out that MLS sheet. How about ordering listing rewards? It's a terrific program, but we all know that it can also sometimes be time-consuming. Why let it consume your time? It can consume somebody else's for the low, low price of $175. Scheduling your photography, ordering your sign install and making sure that that happens for you. How about if you need a home warranty? Who's going to order that for you? Sending a client introduction letter. And nothing makes you look like more of a professional than when you have professional staff working on your behalf, reaching out to your clients and saying, I am David Walsh's assistant, and you can rely upon my professional help throughout your transaction. Do you think that makes you look stronger to a seller? I do. I think that makes you look a lot stronger. How about entering all of your information into the MLS, uploading and arranging all the photos, not to mention managing and tracking signatures on your listing documents. How many of these do we have to worry about? I would love to have somebody else having that headache instead of me. And these guys, as I said, have been doing it for a long time. It's not a headache to them. This is what they specialize in. Okay? Let's talk about managing and improving your listing rewards marketing. Of course, you have as much control here as you want, but when you don't have the time, at least you can rest assured that there's not going to be a typo, that the pictures aren't in the wrong order, that you don't have the wrong pictures for the wrong listing. Any number of things can happen out there when you get busy. Let's talk about managing your listings with the office staff. How are you receiving feedback? How is that flowing back to your client? We have all of that available to you through this system. And then a regular seller follow-up. This is something a lot of agents prefer to do themselves, and that's fine. You can do that or you don't have to. But I would like personally to deliver that feedback to my sellers because I'm the one who in the end is going to be asking them for a price reduction. You got it. That's correct. Absolutely right. However, it's terrific to have somebody collating that feedback so that you get a list of what the people thought about the property so that you are well armed when it comes time to have that conversation with your client. And then any changes in the MLS as well. It's pretty easy, and many of us have been there when there was a price change that came down the pike, and we might have even gotten the amend extend signed, but if we forgot to send it to the title company and or the lender, we're going to have a bad day at closing because everything has to be redone. And because of our friends at the CFPB, now that's not something we can fix in an hour. It's going to take 7 to 10 days. That'd be worth $175 to me right there by itself. So yes, knowing that those documents have been signed, tracked, followed through, sent where they're supposed to go, that is a huge peace of mind for you for a very small price. And that's just what we can do for you with CB2Go on the listing side. But as we continue to discuss, let's look at what happens when you're under contract and it's time to close. And this is particularly important when you've got multiple deals going on. For $300, and I don't know about you, but I spend that kind of money in my sleep. I don't know what on, but in any case, there's a lot going down. I think many of our new agents think that the worst of this is the prospecting and the getting under contract in the first place. Au contraire, my friends. It's not true. There's so much work that happens after the contract has been executed by everyone. And what do we know about that work, once again? Not to beat a dead horse here, but all the work entailed from the moment the contract is signed, all of those are activities that don't net you a dime. So that's something that we really want to be focused on. And to the extent that I could have somebody else doing that for me so that I could be spending all that clerical time and all of that paperwork time on activities that put me in front of new clients, well, that would certainly be worth $300 to me. So creating the SIR, oh my God, another one of my least favorite duties as an agent when I was one, the SIR. Oof, I don't know why. I got pretty good at it after a while, but you know what? I wasted an awful lot of time filling out that SIR. I understand what it's for. I think it's a great document to use once it's done, but I would have easily paid $300 to have somebody else do that for me. Approving the SIR. The agent's going to do that for yourself, so you can make sure that you've got all the accurate information. This is as hands-on a process as you could want it to be, but it also takes a lot of the heavy lifting off your shoulders. Sending, once again, an introduction letter to your clients, understanding that you have professional staff working for you that's going to ease this transaction is a big advantage to both your sellers and to your buyers. They want to know that they're going to be handheld. And they know, because you told them when you first met with them, that you're a busy, high-end professional. And to that end, you care enough about your business to make sure that your clients are not left in the lurch when they need information. And that's why you would hire a transaction coordinator. So, managing and tracking signatures on the documents, that obviously, as we just discussed, same thing from the listing side. That's a lot of time consumption without a lot of payback. Managing the transaction with your office staff. Does the CPC have the documents that they require? Has your office staff been informed that the property is under contract? Has the MLS status been changed? There's a lot of little bits and pieces, and when we are on the fly and out scheduling showings and meeting clients, it's not always easy for us to keep that straight in our heads. So keep that in mind as well. Tracking dates and deadlines. When I teach Star 90 classes, this is probably the scariest speech I give to my new students, is explaining to them just exactly what it means when you miss a deadline. And I know for the vast majority of you out there, I don't need to explain this to you, but a contract cannot survive a missed deadline in most circumstances. We are not in a market where it helps us to have to go back on the market because a deal fell, and we are certainly not in a market where our buyers are going to be happy with us for missing one of those dates and letting them fall out of contract. This is a inexpensive, reliable way to make sure that that's not going to happen to you. All right, scheduling the inspection, that's always an issue. The appraisal and the closing. Scheduling the appraisal, that's a full-time job these days all by itself. Why? I don't know. No appraisers. I know one. That's a joke. It's an inside joke. Some of you get it. Okay. So scheduling inspections, appraisals, and the closing, making sure that all of that is ready to go. How about that CDA? If you're not too clear on what's going on with that CDA, these folks are. They'll be happy to work through that with you. And the settlement statement review. These are all things that we don't want to find ourselves looking at that settlement statement for the first time at the closing table or 5 minutes before we walk into the conference room for closing. Make sure you've got somebody that is looking after that and catching problems before they become problems. This entire program is all about being proactive, and we could all stand to be slightly more proactive in our business. Wouldn't you agree, Katrina?
I would.
See? She said so.
I hit the agree button.
Aha! Thank you. How about dropping off checks in the closing packet? Oh, I've got a few agents out there. I'm just saying. They don't like to bring me the checks. They don't like to bring me the closing paperwork. If you want to earn your credit for those sides that you closed, it's going to be imperative that you get those into your office and make sure that all of that paperwork has been processed by the end of the month. And wouldn't it be nice to know that somebody else is going to make sure that happens for you? Turning in that completed office closed file, really not an issue for you anymore if you're using CB2Go. How about tracking amendments? We just talked about what can happen. How bad can it go for you if you miss an amendment, if the title company misses an amendment, if the lender misses an amendment? Never miss an amendment again. CB2Go, that's your answer. MLS changes, we just talked about it. So as we talk about some of the things that this program can do for you, there's an awful lot here that really doesn't help our business, but we're still responsible for it. Why take on the responsibility? Why not share some of that responsibility? The other thing that I love about this program is the fact that sometimes my business requires this sort of help, and sometimes my business really doesn't require this kind of help. And this is an opportunity to have the flexibility to say, you know what, I can ramp up when my business needs it. I can use CB2Go, and in the slower months, maybe the fourth quarter, kind of where we are at the end of the year right now, maybe I don't need it, and that's fine. I'm not paying someone to sit there and do nothing, and I'm not having to take on the expense and the issues of having to 1099 somebody or pay for somebody's health insurance. There are many of us out there, and we have absolutely fantastic assistants in this business that we could not exist as Coldwell Banker in Colorado without. And I hope that every one of you gets to a point where that is the kind of business that you're running, where you absolutely have to have a full-time assistant. But there's an awful lot of us in no man's land between no business and such big business that we can justify that. And CB2Go fills that entire gap for everybody that's looking to push their business to the next level. Anybody who's got more work on their hands than they feel comfortable with making sure they can do. We're not going to let one client go unhelped, and this is one way to make sure that we don't have to. Did I talk about exactly how much this costs? Let me run this down again. So on your listing side, that's $175 per listing. And that is, I'd pay a lot more than that for that kind of peace of mind. And then on the other side, as your closing assistant, either for your listings or for your buyer clients, $300. And that, again, is a very easy to bite off chunk for most of us agents to take on when we're busy. And we know that we could make a lot more than that $300 by spending more time with our clients. So let's look at some of these FAQs. It's a fact. Just the facts, man. Would this be a good program to help take my business to the next level? I think I just said about 7 different ways. Yes, it would. This would be a great way to do that. When is my assistant available? When do you want them? How would you like to be able to get them whenever you like? You can reach your assistant by email, by phone, Monday through Friday, regular business days. They keep hours that you don't have to pay them to keep. How about that? Sounds pretty cool to me. Can I transfer an existing transaction into the program? Yes, you can. Oh my gosh, yes, you can. If you have an existing file in process that you'd like the CB2Go to handle for you, we are here to help. We're happy to help. Will my assistant be in my office? Not really. We're most efficient from a central location. That's just fine. I want to make sure that when my needs need to be met, when my client has an issue, that there's going to be somebody there to handle it. And when you have one assistant, that one assistant sometimes has a doctor's appointment. Sometimes they're on vacation. Sometimes they're away. And we don't want to put our clients through that. They don't deserve that sort of customer service. By having a centralized location, you know that there's always someone there to address your client's needs. And when it comes to earning repeat business and doing referral business, how the transaction was handled between contract date and closing is going to be an awful lot of what your sphere is talking about when they speak to other people out there that are looking to find an agent that they can rely upon. So that's something strong. When is the fee due to my assistant? Listing services are due upon receipt of the new listing form, so that's the $175. But the closing services fee, those are paid at closing. Now, on the subject of that CDA, I have walked a mile in your loafers, my friends. I have bought and sold many years with this company. And I'll tell you what, when that $300 falls off in my CDA, I don't notice it the same way I do when I'm writing a check for $300. I don't know about you. Maybe it's just semantics. Maybe it's just a game I play in my head. But I don't miss that money when it comes out of my closing. So that $175, that I think we could all agree is a small investment to make sure that your listing goes smoothly. And if you're one of those who really doesn't enjoy the interweb and all of that stuff you got to do to order listing rewards and all of that sort of typing thing, if you're not good with that, $175 out of your pocket. On your way to the closing table with a happy, successful client who has either bought the home of their dreams or walked away with more money than they ever dreamed of, that's worth $300 with a peace of mind to me. So this, my friends, has been your presentation on, I think, oops, I didn't check. Oh, there's one more thing. Oh, there's Dave Fairbrother. We love him. So what's next? How do we go about engaging in this? Call the number. I'm going to give you the number now. The number is 303-725-6167. Again, it's 303-725-6167. Any questions that you have? Are there other services you require? Are there other things you want to know about the program? Please feel free to reach out to that number, and one of our well-experienced transaction coordinators will be happy to answer your questions anytime. Feel free then to create an individual profile outlining what it is that you require of your transaction coordinator, and then immediately you can start leveraging your new listing and closings by using CB2Go. If you're looking this year to move your business to that next level, or if 2017 is really your year, I would not forget that this is in your quiver of arrows and will make you super successful in 2017. I wish you a lovely Thanksgiving. I have enjoyed very much talking to you about the benefits of CB2Go, and I look forward to seeing you again next month, same time, same channel. In the meantime, God bless.